I want to welcome you. Sorry, I want to welcome you to this live broadcast today, Tuesday, the 24th day of October 2023. And I want to thank you for joining wherever you're watching from. Today is the day Chukukike, the Lord has made, and we shall rejoice and be glad in it. We derive joy from the creation of God and the things that He has made for us all to be available to enjoy. Thank you all, and I want to say I hope you are fine wherever you are. I hope you are doing good. I hope you are having a good time, and whatever thing that is bugging you, you just have to allow God Himself deal with it. You take action prayerfully and you allow God Himself deal with it. Thank you for joining. This is Biafra Global Network, and my name is Kelechi Ambrose, as always. And of course, I make sure that Mazi's Kanu's cause is sustained and the truth is maintained. I stand with millions of Biafrans all over the nations of the world who are standing on the path of truth, who not allow themselves to be bought over, manipulated, used or utilized. Let me use the word that term, or being used for a particular false narrative. And I stand with every one of you in solidarity with Mazi and Kanu as disciples and as henchmen of Mazi and Kanu, henchmen of the truth, standing for truth. And the purpose of this regular broadcast making is for us to disseminate the information of truth so that people can follow strictly, confidentially, and guided. People can be guided along the path of the destination. Seek as people who are in slavery is tilted towards freedom. The destination we seek will only be achieved on truth, in truth, and by truth. Thank you for joining. Please, as you join in, like this video and share on all your social media platforms. Today, I'm going to be taking a different path in today's publication or broadcast. Today, I'm going to be applying some another tactics. And, there are so many things I've been saying over time. If you have been following me, those of you who have been following the broadcast and following the accountability and transparency group, speaking the truth through me, you would know that I have said so many things concerning the manipulation, especially in regards to the so-called Biafra Liberation Army and the functions, activities, and programs of the so-called autopilot as a group, not as a function. Because if you remember, I have explained what autopilot means as a function and what autopilot means as a group. So when I address the group, when I talk about autopilot, and when I am trying to refer to the group, I will make you understand that I'm referring to the group. And when I talk about the function itself that Mazi and Kanu has put IPOB into, I would also make you know. When we want to, I have given you so many information about all of these. And one thing that is critical about these things, is that we must confirm them from what Mazi and Kanu has said. There's nothing Mazi and Kanu has said that does not have a representation or an evidence by what we can hear at all times, and at the same time by what is happening, so that you can analyze and be able. Everything happening right now has been spoken by Mazi and Kanu. Every of his messages and preaching have expressed all of this. Thank you so much, Ego, my comrade, for coming. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate you. Now, before we go into the broadcast, I'm going to be playing a particular, I don't glorify people. I don't You know, Daniel, it's good to have you. Good evening from here also. Thank you for joining. I don't glorify people. And when you see evil thriving, don't think it is when I hear people say, if you can't beat them, you join them. You're not sensitive. Because sensitive people don't just take statements in face value, in first face value. That means you just look at it on the surface and then you begin to apply it. You take statements and read in between the lines, you know, and also try to dissect. What it means to dissect is to analyze, you know, and to put into context. You know, that's what it means to dissect. So when we talk about following the crowd or following the train, the moving train, not every moving train is destined to take you to destination. You should understand that. For the fact the train is moving doesn't mean it's going to get to its destination. It can be waylaid by the bad people somewhere because there's no tangible security, or because people have hijacked it. Look at the planes that crashed into the World Trade Center in September 11, 2001. You remember, those people were destined to go to their destination. They were planned, sorry, those people planned to get to their destination, but their destination was thwarted because hijackers got into it. And the planes were plunged into the World Trade Center, the two towers, also in Pennsylvania, and Pentagon. So you see, 4 planes crashed because there were hijackers. You must understand that in everything you do, hijackers are looking forward to make sure you don't get to your destination. For what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu represents, the hijackers want to stop Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's program and lots of things. Now, I'm going to play 2 videos here. One video is from a member of the DOS, you know, and I'm going to play another one. I don't know who did that one, but it is very, very important. The reason for playing this is not because I want to glorify the people who did it, but because I'm bringing out the message from what they have said. Because of course, even the devil himself also preached the scripture. And so we take the word, he will give his angels charge over you, yes, but in the context of usage by the devil, it's actually is not going to function in that regard, because the devil intends it for another program. But anyways, Biafrans are Biafrans. We are all Biafrans. And of course, we are going to get there. And let me tell you, every Biafran, as long as you speak the truth at a particular time, you are ordained and destined to speak that truth, because God will use that truth to confirm his word at a particular time. And so I'm going to be playing these 2 videos, one from the one called Methuselah, and I'm going to play another video. And I want to bring out some messages from these videos. Now, the reason, you know, I don't play videos anyhow, and I don't play things, but there are sometimes you need to confirm some stuff. And the reason why I'm going to play those videos is because of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's preaching in those videos, and how they were able to analyze that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's preaching and transcribe it or translate it to the current situation that we have found ourselves. So it is very, very important for me to also refer people to such things sometimes, so that you can understand what is happening, and then you can know if you see, we need to continually and continuously bring out some stuff. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's preachings are confirmation of prophetic things that would happen. And the actions you see today are prophetic of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's preaching. You can see automatically these things are preached, and these things are revealing the evils. And you know, the evils have a way of how they come and how they happen. The evils have a way of how they come and how they happen. Please let me call you back later. I am broadcasting now. Let me call you back later, you know. And so now let's look at this. We're going to be going straight into it. Look at an e-frog. I've seen an e-frog. Just put down, if you're an e-frog, please allay your frustration, and the truth will help you and console you. As I preach the truth will help you to console you by the truth. So that's it. I am live now. I'm broadcasting. So please, let's talk later. I'm broadcasting. Let's talk later, please. So the truth will align with all of this stuff. So now, before we go into that, before we go into analyzing these things today, because we're going to be talking about the referendum convention in relation to the activities of the autopilot crew, and then we're going to be talking about the 9 million alleged sale of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Whether it is more, I don't know, but there's one interesting thing that I seem to deduce from, you see, what surprised me anyways, even if it is not surprising, is that Simon had to make statements concerning that 9 million. And then he now began to make statements in that light that is indicting him in the first place. Then why are you analyzing the issue of the 9 million and saying you have busted them? And suddenly you had to wait for Chinansa to come out to talk about $9 million before you now begin to talk about you have busted them and all of that. I'm going to read that message and I'm going to bring out, when such kinds of message, when it comes to investigation, it can be used against the persons that are called, because Chinansa called Simon and called some other people. At the same time, Simon came out and began to talk about busting them and began to talk about so many things regarding the same particular stuff. That is an evidence against him, because if you are not part of it, why make statements and begin to talk about busting? All this while you have not talked about monies, you have not even mentioned how much has Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has been sold for, or maybe you have mentioned something before, I don't know. But suddenly, one person who is part of the system makes mention of it, and then you now come out to talk about how you have busted them and how you just busted them, and the money is more than Ejiofor is going to collect the balance. He's finding it hard to collect the balance. You say you have busted them. What does that mean? That means there's something you know about that money that is making you make such statements. Very common sense. People, you see, when people say he claims to be a lawyer, I know he's not a lawyer anyways. We all know that one. You see these simple mistakes, you just reveal yourself, you just expose yourself. But before we go into that anyways, let's go into the video. I'm going to play a video of Methuselah, and I'm going to play another video that shows that shows Mazi Nnamdi Kanu preaching and talking about the army. And then at the same time, that video is also showing those people standing on the road in a bush path, wearing uniforms, say they are Biafra Liberation Army, and then they are now, standing like the way Boko Haram stand in front of a car. Some of them spread, and then one of them is talking the way all these terrorists do their things. And then I'm going to give analysis, critical analysis, very, very critical analysis, because the analysis will be very, very deep today concerning that, concerning the Biafra Liberation Army, from the words of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, Biafra Liberation Army, and also concerning the activities of these people called Autopilot, the group now, I'm talking about the group. So now, listen to this particular video from Methuselah first, and then after playing this Methuselah's video, I'm going to play another video that has the same message of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, but this time around showing a different content in line with that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's message, and that is the content of the Biafra Liberation Army. And then I'm going to bring the trajectory out of it and the message that is very, very important for you to understand. Doderigi, Amaka, good to have you. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. Now, listen to this video from Methuselah. Listen.
Yes. Good morning here, people of Biafra, lovers of freedom.
Now, I don't want you to be biased in listening to this message. I want you to be objective. Whether you hate him, whether you like him, that is not the issue. Now, listen to the message objectively, and then so that you can have the ability to transcribe or translate, or even if it has to do with transmogrification, or if it has to do with you reading in between lines to understand something. Now, is dressed like this. Now, look at the dress code of this one who says an army. That tells you, if you remember the other time, I was telling you people that when the time is, young men clothes, give them stipends, gather them, hire some stuff and all of that. This time around, they hired band, and then I don't hire them, give them stipends. If you listen, if you remember when they were talking about launching the army about 3 weeks, 4 weeks ago, I was talking about that. I'm going to hire them clothes, then what they will need, and then they're going to give them stipends, and then they're going to use them. Look at their shoes, look at the cloth, look at the dress code, some oversized, because they had to sew some stuff and stipends, and then cover their faces, jump around in a community, in a particular village, come to the streets of that village, dance around, and call themselves Biafra Liberation Army. And then now Simon calls himself the commander-in-chief. Now that is treason against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the commander-in-chief of the army of Biafra, which he will establish. You are going to hear him here when he said he's going to launch it. That means if this man who claimed, this Simon who claimed to love Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, if he respects Mazi Nnamdi Kanu and regards Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, he would not create an army when Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has said that he himself will launch an army. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu never said somebody else. He said he himself. So as long as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is alive, he is potentially going to create that army. Unless if he's dead, of course he can't be dead. But as long as he's still alive, nobody has that local standing. Nobody should have that local standing. If you do that, you have committed treason. He said he is going to launch Biafra Army. That's what he said. And you're going to hear it from this, from this video that Methuselah will play, and the video I'm going to play also, another one, so that you can understand. Unless you're not a follower of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, you would just be tossed here and there and allow anything to happen. If Simon, as he claims to love Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, as long as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has said that he himself, as the leader of Biafra, would launch the Biafra Liberation Army, and as long as there's no command for him, Simon, to do that from Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, not giving him instruction to do that, of course he cannot give him instruction to do that as long as he's alive. You don't have such kind of situation in a nation where the president is alive, and then when somebody is maybe somebody begins to exude power because the president is in trouble or the president is incarcerated somewhere, you now begin to exude the power of the president without authorization, and then you begin to create something as important as an army. That is treason, because when you are creating that army, you are automatically calling yourself the commander-in-chief, of which your followers have been saying it several times, that you are commander-in-chief. Now let's listen to this. Don't listen to it because you hate Methuselah or you are biased about him. No, that's not it. You are not Methuselah. He knows what he understands, and he understands what he knows. You are you, and you are. I don't condemn people, and I'm not saying whether he's right or wrong. All of them are supposed to know what happened to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. He himself knows what happened to Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, because from the beginning, before Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, he said some things that would indict him. That is why I said all these things Chinan Sanwo-Olu is coming online to do is unnecessary. You have information, yes. Other people have information. Let us set up a fact-finding committee where all these information will be brought together and all the people involved will be mentioned, and a report will come out of it that is a formal document documented in the archives of Biafra, and then at the same time utilized to prosecute those involved. You don't come online and tell us, you don't want to mention name. You know this, you know that, you don't want to mention name. Those are nonsense. That is not professional. Why are we doing things as if we are in the Stone Age? We have to do things like we know what we are doing. But anyways, I have not come to preach about Chinansa today or Methuselah, whether he's right or wrong and all of that. We need a fact-finding committee to do all of this stuff and get. As long as they have not done it, I would never support the DOS. I will never be part of the DOS until they set up a fact-finding committee. We now sieve out those who committed atrocities against our leader, and then we can now begin to redefine the DOS, because the DOS is for the service of Biafra. That was why Mazi Nnamdi Kanu created it. Now listen to this.
I still remain your humble servant, Methuselah. I just want to make a very quick one here, and to notify you when you know that people are really fighting for freedom. because I know some of us at home, especially our younger ones who are still in secondary school, who still crave for freedom. Sometimes you'll be seeing movie, and if you're not very careful,
Daniel, let me say this. There's nothing like jeopardizing. Methuselah's video cannot jeopardize. I am looking at the message in that video. I'm not looking at Methuselah. 2, I can also play the message of Buhari and Peter Obi or whatever based on the message I want to bring out. That doesn't mean I'm supporting Peter Obi or supporting Tinubu or supporting Nigeria. Several times you have seen videos played on air about a particular thing happening in a place, or maybe some stuff happening in a particular place. Doesn't mean that you're supporting the people. This is a broadcast. You can always have materials to send a message. Now, just listen to what he said in relation to what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said. That's all we have come to do, not to say, look at the person who is doing it. Because he is also a suspect to me, as I have said initially. He's also a suspect to me based on the things that he said before Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, and after he said after Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped and extraordinarily rendition. So he has questions to answer based on his statements. That is why we need a fact-finding committee. But for now, we are not dealing with that. We are looking at what the relationship he made. The comparison and the truth he is bringing out from this particular narrative of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu in relation to the atrocity that Simon is committing in the land. Now listen to it. That's just get the message. Leave the issue of whether it's Methuselah who said it or not. Just listen. When it comes to a place and something is said wrong that is contrary, I'm going to mention it and I'm going to say it. So we are broadcasters, so we can get materials and utilize it based on the meaning or the message we want to convey to you, not because I want to glorify the person or endorse him. No, I have not come to endorse him. So Daniel, please just understand it. Just understand it in that regard. I don't go partisan against evil. I mean, with evil. No, I don't go partisan with evil. So you should have known me by now. I would always want to bring out the message, and that's why I mentioned this source. So look at it now. Listen to it.
Be jubilating and at the same time putting yourself in danger, and at the same time cheering up to something that's going to lead you to a grave. Now pay attention. These people you are seeing parading themselves on ground as Biafran army, these are Nigerian agents operated by some of the politicians we have in our land.
I know. Now I'm going to take it to top again. Now, he said they are Nigeria agents. Now, you are going to know how they are Nigeria agents. Just listen.
Good morning here, wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom. I still remain your humble servant.
Before I do that, before I play it on, always know something. Anytime what you are doing is helping Nigeria to succeed, anytime what you are doing is helping Nigeria to kill the people, and you know it that the people continually are killed, you keep doing it, you don't learn from it. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu discovered this, that there are some actions you will take, the people will fall victim, the people will become the victim. So Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stopped it. That was why he stopped protest and all of that. Now, why does Simon continue to go showcase these guys on the streets, just making a show when he knows they don't have the capacity to stop the Nigerian army now? Why not build something on the ground? Of course, we cannot endorse his army. Let's just say he wants to build his own. We cannot endorse his army because Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is the one who is supposed to raise the army and give the army to Biafra. And when the time comes, that is when it is safe, when we have everything ready. Why does Simon showcase these few guys, not well armed, and then keep showing you on social media the Nigeria government getting aware of that and all of these details, and then putting our people in the communities in danger? Because when you say you have an army, you are telling the government or the controlling power, the controlling force, which is the British and the Nigeria government, that it is only a nation that has an army. That means if Biafra nation would have an army, Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is so learned. He knows that if Biafra nation would have an army, there must be things that must be put in place to make sure that army takes control of the land. You don't showcase an army when you are not in control of the land. Your army must first go into action and take some action that will secure a particular territory, and then from that territory you can now say you are an army. You don't have two armies in a particular construct or a particular country. As long as Nigeria is designed and created as a country, which they call it, and they have an army, once you bring something into it again to say it's an army in your locality, that army must have a control of that locality. That's how it is done. It's just like when you go to Libya, there are two armies. One is at Benghazi, controlling the territory of Benghazi. When you get to Benghazi, the army there is not the army at Tripoli or in Tripoli. The army in Benghazi is not the army in Tripoli. Why do you showcase these guys in the bush and say they are army? That was the wisdom behind ESN. ESN was created and was told, everybody was told, including the international community, that ESN is only a vigilante group, because the impression must be made so that people will understand the difference between a security outfit and an army. Because when you want to create an army, then you must be ready to take over your territory. That means once you create the army, nobody will even know. As soon as you create it, it will take action first, secure a particular part of your locality, and then it will announce itself as an army. That's how it is done. You don't begin to showcase some boys and say we have Biafra Liberation Army. When we launch the army, we'll let you know. And you don't have the territory. And two, the man you claim you are a disciple to is in dungeon. He says he would launch the army. He is still alive. So why are you in a rush? Why are you in a hurry? Why not utilize the ESN and utilize the ESN, which he had created before he was kidnapped, an extraordinary rendition? Why not liaise with the ESN? Why scatter the ESN? And then you now begin to create an army for yourself. You have an ulterior motive. It's as simple as that. When we speak like this, people think it is out of bias or we just hate. No, we see errors, just like when they talk about the currency. When I saw that, I saw a danger, I saw error, and I spoke out. I said, no, faces cannot be on that currency. We can't have your faces on the currency, because the person who is in charge is not yet out. In the currency, putting your faces in your faces that you have ulterior motive, because you shouldn't be thinking of putting your faces in the currency in the first place. And the decision of faces on the currency is for people within every community. That means when we have that ability to form that control, to form that committee, it is only that ability to bring the whole people, the representatives of the people from all of the communities in Biafra land. That is when we can take critical. That is when we can take decisions as currency, critical decisions as dividing or naming the territories. There are some critical decisions you can't take. There are some critical decisions you can't take. There are some critical decisions you can't take without the people. You need the people to take these decisions. That was why Mazi Nnamdi said he doesn't have power to take some decisions. And when Mazi Nnamdi was going to form the army, when he's going to form the army, he would have been able to lobby the whole territories of Biafra land and get the people to respond to it, and get them represented from each territory of from each community of Biafra land. Not bringing a few people and put them on as if you are forming a vigilante group, messing up the whole thing we are doing, making us look like we are stupid. And yet, some of you don't understand this when we're talking about it. Now listen to Methuselah here and listen to his analogy, and then I'm going to come more to speak on this matter. Let's go.
I just want to make a very quick one here, and to notify you when we know that people are really fighting for freedom, because I know some of us are at home, especially younger ones who are still in secondary school, who still
look at this guy. Say he's putting on uniform. Look at his shoe, oversized trouser, oversized top. You just put people together, give them stipends, bribe them, give them small, because just like what they do in election time. Once it is time for election, they begin to give 5,000 votes for this person, 2,000, 3,000, and they collect the money because they are hungry. Because you know the people are hungry, you begin to capitalize on their hunger to play your own game for your own benefit. Look at, you give these guys oversized, look at their shoes. Is that the kind of shoes military people wear? You wear white or male-colored shoe when you know your work, because you're going to become a gorilla, go into gorilla stuff. You wear this kind of thing, an army, and then you now put on oversized cloth, give them oversized cloth, both the top and all of that. Some of them wearing oversized cloth. Look at their march past. It is like maybe one of your children, maybe a child in 5 years, 7 years old child marching, time past. What they call it now, mark time in school, marching. It's like when children they are not coordinated, and you say it's an army. An army, they are not. That means just watch, observe everything about those videos. You will see the lapses, the professional lapses. You would know that these guys were just brought together quickly, given money to just do some few things, and then they are covered, videoed in a community, in a particular remote community, and then the video is sent to impress you. Who is impressing anybody in Biafra Freedom? Is Biafra Project about impressing people? March past. Thank you so much, Ego, for I say time past. March past. It's just like when inter-house, even inter-house sports, you prepare. You will see the children doing it well, even in inter-house sports, in secondary schools or primary schools, because they prepare for weeks. These ones were not prepared. Look at how this one is swinging his hand here. That one is swinging. Very unprofessional. Look at their steps. Look at their lifting of their legs. This is not professional. Look at the cloth. Look at the size. Look at the size on this one. Let me take it back so that you can see how this cloth looks like on this guy. And and they even have guts to post this kind of picture. That tells you that they must expose themselves by themselves. Look at him. Look at oversized. They now fold the hand. Look at the trouser. Oversized. Is this what must we continue to mess ourselves up and disgrace ourselves? When we are talking, we talk from the professional angle, because we know the implication of all this nonsense. We can't have our commander-in-chief in the dungeon and you are launching an army for a nation that he is in charge of. How can Mazi and Kanu be in charge of a nation? You come from nowhere, within 2 years, you are saying you are launching army because Biafrans gave you opportunity to control about 1 year plus ago. And then you now call yourself prime minister, and then you now say you launch army. What nonsense is that? This is an insult. This is what we call treason. And if all Biafrans are keeping quiet to this, I know that all Biafrans are not keeping quiet to this, we are going to stand to make sure we defeat this nonsense. We can't be putting our people in harm's way. The army of Biafra is going to be designed and launched by Mazi and Kanu. And as long as Chukwukike has given him life and he's still alive, he is the one who would launch the army of Biafra. So if you allow yourselves to be financially manipulated, robbed, deceived, 419 by all these shenanigans, this is not, even ESN was not even shown like this. ESN, that is just a security outfit. Not to talk about an army. Do you know what an army is? Do you know what an army is? You just showcase anything and you say it's an army. Now let's listen to Methuselah. Let's listen to him.
Yes, good morning here, wonderful people of Biafra, lovers of freedom. I still remain your humble servant, Methuselah, I just want to make a very quick one here and to notify you when you know that people are really fighting for freedom, because I know some of us at home, especially our younger ones who are still in secondary school, who still crave for freedom. Sometimes we see movie, and if you're not very careful, you'll be jubilating. Same time putting yourself in danger, at the same time cheering up to something that's going to lead you to early grave. Now These people you are seeing parading themselves on ground as Biafran army. These are Nigerian agents orchestrated by some of the politicians we have in our land.
I know the game they're playing. There was this stupid video that is in circulation. You know, they can't attack ESN. They can't. They have no moral ground. But I'm sure they gave money to idiots and gave them guns to say they are Biafran army, which is a lie. It's a DSS creation. So they can have justification to say to Biden or the US ambassador, can you see they now have Biafran army? We can now move in to attack them. Anybody, if you are involved in that video, take a walk. You want to give Fulani Janja with the reason to invade our land.
Now, did you hear that?
That's what you're doing.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Do you know the implication of that? When you talk about an army, you are daring a power that is already existent. When you talk about an army, you are daring a power that is already existent. The last thing you can do in freedom fighting is to set up an army, because the army is the height of your decision to be free. Whenever you see an army, you know that there's going to be a territorial dispute. Because your army would fight for that territory. Once you create an army in freedom fighting, you have already gone to the climax of your freedom fighting. So when ESN was created, ESN was given the name Security Network. But you don't draw the attention of the international community or get a fierce attack on your people. Because when you call them an army, you have told them that you have come all out. And then they can bring different kinds of weapons to attack you. Why do you have all these, serious killings of our people, abductions, jet bombers, bombing our territories? It's because you said you have declared an army. So now they have a reason to attack your people. Mazi Nnamdi said it here. When you create an army, you have already told them you are ready for them. Fully, military-wise, you are prepared. You have everything they have to withstand them in a fight. So Mazi Nnamdi was saying that the reason why these guys, as at that time, created this army was because the Nigerian government designed them to make it look like they have come all out so that they would have a reason to attack. Simon knows this. All these criminals know about this message Mazi Nnamdi preached. He preached it beginning of 2021, around February or January or so, or March of 2021. Yes, around that period, before June he was kidnapped, 2021. Mazi Nnamdi said this thing, and he said, you want to give the reason, because you have to be tactical, you have to be smart. That was why ESN was not called an army, because it would only keep doing the internal security job, keeping away the Fulanese from our land and fighting them until the army that will be more equipped will be launched. So anytime you come up as an army, you must have what it takes to withstand the enemy. Now, answer this question, all of you, please answer this question, especially the e-frogs and those people supporting this impunity from Simon and this evil from Simon, killing our people. Do they have what it takes? How many rocket launchers they have? How many RPGs? How many surface-to-air missiles? How many bombs? How many jets, fighters do they have? How many ships do they have to cover the sea to fight? How many, what do they have to withstand the force of the Nigeria contraction? You want me to mention the things Nigeria have? Want me to mention the things Nigeria have? I'm going to mention them. Maybe I'm going to get a particular video and I'm going to play it so that you can see what Nigeria has. And then see whether you have a bit of them. We know that we don't need to get so you don't need to get all they have to fight them. But what you have is supposed to be for at least a guerrilla warfare. What you have. How can you just gather people and then you just give them uniform and then you show and you keep bragging online? Bragging. Freedom fighting is not for boys. It's not for children, for God's sake. Mentality. When we talk about freedom boys or children, when we call people boys, that we're not calling them boys because we want to disregard them or spite their age. It is not by age. Freedom fighting is not by age. It is by wisdom. It is by mentality, by your intellect, by your intelligence. This guy is not intelligent. What is all this show on social media? Putting our people in harm's way. Now, recently, the boys were killed 2 days ago or yesterday or 2 days ago. Over 30 of them were killed by the Nigerian forces. Their camp was invaded. They were killed. One of their vehicles was taken. Now, let me read what Simon posted. Let me read what Simon posted. And I'm going to post what I'm also going to read one thing that one of his e-frog also posted. Because when people are behaving, you begin to wonder what is really wrong with our people. You begin to wonder what is wrong with our people. Now let me read what he posted. Let me read what's. Our attention, this is from Simon. Our attention has been drawn to a report from Agent of Nigeria State that the Biafra Liberation Army Patrol Hilux was packed. Okay, let me read it again. Because his grammar is not always, because when he wants to lie, you hurriedly just post something and before editing it or checking. Our attention has been drawn to a report from Agent of Nigeria State. The Biafra Liberation Army Patrol Hilux was packed. The Biafra Liberation Army Patrol Hilux was packed at a location. Now listen, Army vehicle was packed at a location. Listen, he's trying to explain what happened. Because he wants to lie to you that his men were not killed and the vehicle that was taken was not taken from a fight. So he wants to tell you a lie. So you see what he says. Our attention has been drawn to a report from Agent of Nigeria State. The Biafra Liberation Army Patrol Hilux was packed. One vehicle, you are launching an army, you have one vehicle or two or three or four, just few vehicles. And those vehicles are packed in communities. Now, what he's trying to make us understand here now is that the vehicle was packed in a location where people are not living. That's what he's trying to tell you. Now, listen. The Biafra Liberation Army Patrol Hilux was packed at a location. And the terrorist Nigeria headquarters army went there with an intel from the people posting it. There was no exchange of fire. There were no Biafra Liberation Army personnel there. How can you pack a vehicle of an army and there is no personnel there? So where is your army located? How can you park your vehicle where nobody is living? That means your vehicle was parked in the forest, and in the forest where you parked it, you didn't park it where your men are. That's what he's trying to give you an impression. Now, is this not stupidity? Doesn't this show clearly that there's a lie here? How can you park an army vehicle, even your personal vehicle? You can park it and there's nobody around. You can park it where nobody is. So you are telling us that you parked an army vehicle, a Hilux army patrol vehicle, in a location where there is no personnel. The thing is spoiled. You don't pafuka. I be the vehicle itself. Na scrap. How can you tell us that you packed a whole patrol vehicle for an army? You don't even have enough. It's not as if the thing break down somewhere. You now pack it somewhere, or maybe break down somewhere on the road, and so you have to leave it. And even when you leave it, some men will be around there until you come to fix it. That is what an army does. You are telling us you have the guts. Look at this, and the gullibles who are under their juju spell will believe this. How can somebody write this thing? This is a stupid lie. This is a childish lie. Isn't that you don't look at this childish lie? I mean, we went there from the intel, from the people posting it. There were no exchange of fire. There was no BLA personnel there. Nobody was arrested or captured. You mean you parked a vehicle in an isolated place? No human being was living there, and you think that Nigeria agents will come into a place, see your patrol vehicle, and will not comb that area for people? So that means you are telling us that there are no human beings living there. So you park a vehicle in Sambisa Forest. Even Sambisa Forest, there are human beings. Or you park it inside the swamp in Biafra land. When an army comes, they see your patrol vehicle somewhere. When they come there, they will not just come and pick your vehicle. They would pick, before they carry that vehicle, they will comb that area. They will go far. They will check around for people. You are saying there is no personnel around. So where did you park the vehicle? Is it in Sahara Desert? Oh, now so are people foolish rich? Look at the message. And people were saying, wow, what people were hailing. Okay, look at the message. No thinking faculty. They just believe, swallow everything, hook, line, and sinker, as Mazi and Kanu will say. Listen, there were no personnel of DLA there. Nobody was arrested or captured. No weapon lost to Nigeria. But of course, as usual, they presented down gun. We don't use down gun. And yet, in that man you have been showcasing, that's one that is showcasing himself as general now. We have seen several kinds of this down gun and all of this stuff with them sometimes. Even in that their videos they show. They showcase all the materials we see in that place, that room that he sits and brag. Like you bragging in Finland. We see some of the materials that were displayed by the Nigeria contraption. We saw the guy's frame picture in that place. Where is that guy? Where are the men with him? How come his picture is displayed? And if you check that thing that was displayed, you will discover that the same floor, the same ground where that thing was parked, that this vehicle was parked, was an interlocked ground. That means it's a compound. Interlocked. Do you interlock forest? You said nobody was in that area. That means that you interlock forest. The place where that vehicle was parked was an interlocked place. Or let's just say, okay, now, you want to tell us that they took it and went to their place where they are and displayed it on the ground. Okay, let's believe that. Are you telling us that nobody was around, only your vehicle was parked, and they abandoned your vehicle and walked away, not thinking that that vehicle will be vandalized? What kind of army will park their vehicle somewhere and walk away, nobody will be around? Where does it happen? Look at it. Look at it. Our personnel are intact. We will collect our helots back. It is part of liberation. Can you imagine? So disregard these idiots and posting and sharing. He didn't even talk about the man that was they said he's been killed. That is general, so-called general. Because in the so-called launching of the army, the so-called army, the guy is not found. The guy is nowhere to be found. So where is the guy? Because that guy always wants to show off, as he's showing off from Finland, from media, social media angle. The guy is showing off on ground, also using social media. Because they feel they have displaced innocence. So they are showing off. The guy always wants to show off. So even in their launching, the guy didn't show off. That is strange, because he always wants to show off. I'm going to play another video where you will see him displaying himself like the way Boko Haram stands on the road and spread themselves, and then their Shakao or one of their leaders will be talking. Now let's go on with this video.
But we shall get to that. Anybody involved in the circulation of that video, can you see the now how the Biafran army, we can now move in to attack them? Anybody is the DSS creation. So they can have justification to say to Biden or the US ambassador, can you see they now have Biafran army, we can now move in to attack them.
Are you hearing?
Anybody, if you are involved in that video, you want to give Fulani Janja with the reason to invade our land.
You hear that?
That's what you're doing. But we shall get to that later. Anybody involved in the circulation of that video is a gunner. I'm telling you the truth. I made it.
That offense is so bad that Mazi Nnamdi said anybody involved in that circulation is a gunner. Do you know why? Because you are jeopardizing the lives of the people. You are jeopardizing, you are putting the people in danger. So, whether they are sponsoring you or not, whether you are sponsoring yourself because you want to show off and make more money from the people, or the Nigerian government is sponsoring you, two things are involved. I mean, one thing is involved. It means that they will capitalize on you sponsoring yourself and trying to make money for yourself as a means of also attacking your people because of that army. Or two, they are sponsoring your army to use it as a means of attacking the people and giving you more money. So either ways, you are making money from the people, you are making money from the Nigeria contraption. That's what they are doing. Now listen.
People behave because they don't understand the game plan of the Fulani. People are very foolish who come to you.
Very foolish. Very foolish. And I'm talking to those who see frogs and those ones who are out there. Very foolish. Now listen.
And want to use you and you succumb because you have greed, envy, and jealousy inside you. Which one again is Biafran army? I'm asking you. From where?
From where? Biafra army. How? Mazi Nnamdi is in dungeon. Biafra army. From where? From where now? How? The commander-in-chief is still alive. Look at him here talking to those people then, and he's still alive somewhere. And you are talking about Biafra army. How? Is that the priority? Are you the commander-in-chief? But you are sponsoring people to call you commander-in-chief everywhere. The commander-in-chief is somewhere preparing. Even when he comes out, he's going to also set up the army. And he's somewhere, you just come out, and you begin to use him to enrich yourself, mislead the people. And the gullibles keep falling for all of this trash. The gullibles keep falling for all of this trash.
How many people? The day I will build the Biafran army, we number over 200,000 standing. Reserve is over 1 million.
Now you see it. We number over 200,000, reserve is over 1 million. That means you must be well prepared. Before you launch it, you must be prepared. You must be well numbered and then equipped. Each of them, it's not even the ESN thing, it's just a small thing. The launching will be different because this time around the launching will be first taking territory, announcing your control. Security, and now army does. An army does not come and begin to display on the road as if it's one security or one what you are creating by your tactics, by the tactics of is the tactics of militia. The tactics Simon is doing now is tactics of militias, tactics of terrorists and groups, and begin to showcase what they have, showcase their few men they should have, and they talk tough and they tell this and they use this and all of that is what that is the tactics and armed groups. Real army comes with a different tactics. They take action immediately. This is how real army take control. They take control of the territory first and command affairs. From there, they tell the powers that be, we're in control. That's what real army do. Real armies take control of territory first and then command affairs of that territory. So that even the powers that be cannot control that territory, they will be in control of it. Even if it is one community, that is when it is an army. Because you command that territory to prove that you're going to command other aspects, and you fight from that point of commanding one particular territory to spread to other places. That is how real army does. It's army is not launched like you launch security outfit or any other group. It is only militia groups that begin their launching by showcasing few people holding guns, standing by a vehicle, or talking tough somewhere and telling you. It is only militia groups that do that, and terrorist groups. So the features or the characteristics of Simon's approach has shown you that what they have is a militia group. If they like, they go and go hire people and give them money and tell them they have an army. All of those stuff, they only have few people whom they are funding, and all they need to do is whenever they need those guys, they bring them together and give them money and showcase them, cover their faces, because they'll have to cover their faces. Real army will come all out. Mazi Nnamdi said it. I'll showcase my face. Show my face. That is real army. Because by the time you are a real army, you don't need to cover your face, because you have taken territory and you are in that territory. You are controlling that territory. Even if there's a need to cover your face, the features of your activities in this one now is a proof that you are actually capitalizing on the ignorance of the people to steal. Listen.
Some bunch of idiots somewhere, because you're serving your Fulani Janjaweed masters, will get hold of all of you. Check out Uno. We know the bad eggs when we see them.
We know the bad eggs when we see them.
It's very simple. The aim is to make sure they neutralize and at the same time silence the noble movement. Created by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They're still using his image to carry many of you along, but along the line, he's gonna be dropped. By that time, they have already made a wave to convince many of you to think that they have another that
sorry for the skipping
look like IPO, which is not possible. There is why I'm telling you this is Nigerian government is acting a movie, and Nigerian government is the one holding your leader. If it is truly that that look like IPO, which is not possible.
We know the bad eggs when we see them.
Sorry for that.
The aim is very simple. The aim is to make sure they neutralize and at the same time silence the noble movement created by Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They're still using his image to carry many of you along, but along the line, he's gonna be dropped. By that time, they have already made a wave to convince many of you to think that they have another that look like IPO, which is not possible. The reason why I'm telling you this is Nigerian government is acting a movie, and Nigerian government is the one holding your leader. If it is truly that individuals are claiming who are fighting for their freedom, they are not Nigerian agents. They have a pipeline. Pipeline is a connection that holds Nigerian government with your leader. You want them to speak. You want them to act. You want them to release their leader, according to many of you. That is not through legal means. That you want to take military action. That you have arms. What is stopping you from doing this that you are seeing at my back?
Just said that Russian forces have also blown up a gas pipeline in Kharkiv, which is the country's second largest city, and the state service of the Special Communication and Information Protection has warned that the explosion could cause an environmental catastrophe and has advised residents to cover their windows with damp cloth or to whip gas and to drink plenty of fluid. So that is an advisory that has now also been issued, where the office of the Ukrainian president has said that the Russian forces blew up a gas pipeline in the country's second largest city as Russia's invasion of the country continued.
This is Russian troop. What are they doing? They are blowing the pipeline that is in Kharkiv.
Correct.
Some of you know where is Kharkiv. Kharkiv is the second largest city, or rather state, in Ukraine. They are blowing their pipeline. These are the things you blow where we come from. People that claim they are fighting for their Nigerian territory because they can't blow their property. So if you touch it, you want Nigerian government to speak. That is a symptom to tell you that the people that are claiming that are fighting for you really mean business. You touch the pipeline, they will speak. International community you are looking for will speak. Why? Because this is what connects America, UK, Germany, France, and other rest of the world with Nigeria. Because you want to tap what is giving them life somewhere else. So they need to negotiate to ask what to be done. But you can't see something like this because it's a movie. Now, to tell you another blunder they committed, they are not smart.
Fine, good to have you.
You said you're looking for freedom you want to pull away from Nigeria. Then you're now parading the flag of Israel, which you have done before, and you made a very big mistake, and we have corrected it. To parade a flag of Israel, at this point in time, they are at war.
Now listen to wisdom.
And you are looking for freedom. Who is holding you? You say Britain. Is there any difference between Britain and America? No, they are the same people. They are the ones talking us. That's why they cannot speak on what is going on. And then you are now parading the flag of Israel. And Israel is a very good ally with America. So you want Israel to come and rescue you from America or rescue you from Britain. Remember when we were using Starlink? Starlink is from Israel. But UK gave instruction that they should cut it off, and they did it. So you are now parading the flag of Israel, who is enemy to Russia. Other African countries are running to Russia to seek for help somehow, even though they themselves are also not pure, but at least they have a reason to weigh into and also to look into your matter. You are now parading the flag of Israel. So you want to tell Israel that you are looking for freedom from Britain, they should help you. While Israel himself is seeking for help from Britain and America to help them fight their war. Can you see how stupid and at the same time gullible those are acting the movie are? You don't
understand that now?
I'm telling you. Now, coming to a man called Chu Ayaba, who live in Norway. Who claim to be the leader of Amazon faction. What is going on in the village? When you say freedom is taken by force, freedom you take it by force is in your hand. I agree that is in your hand. You must take it by force. The question is, what is your plan to take it by force?
Now, these are the things I have told you guys
any kind of
several times. A cogent plan must be very strategic and tactical. It is not emotional plan. You don't engage freedom fighting with emotional, for God's sake. You engage with planning, professional. What is your plan? Showcase. Two people come first. They say we are preparing to build a Biafra. See, we have started. You give 2 people uniform. And then later you give 3 people the. Before they increase to 10. Later they increase to ties. Give them some shoes that I don't know which place you people got them from, and just give them anything and just showcase them, and they are mad. Or you buy drums and they beat drums, and then you say you are showcasing an army. Look at me. What kind of child's play be that? What kind of child's play be all this nonsense? I just want, because I've been talking for a long time, I want to play this video to the end so that now listen, you must have a plan. Listen, let me play it to the end, then I'll play the next video.
The reservation to secure your people, just like Israel are securing their people. Their side is but they just to shout, take it by force. See their mothers and their fathers, they're in IDP camp, they're in refugee camp. Just watch them.
You can see some of the refugees that are gone from Malaria. 3 days today, because due to the struggle, the military have destroyed the house, all the military, and this is where they're trying to take an order to give some food for them. The charity gift from the Amazonia guys, KF 1. I can see that the commander, that's what is struggling to give. Right, trying to give something to the guys that are found away from the house for so long. This is the kind of one camp at Amazonia camp, trying to give something to the refugees that leave the house. Let's see the giver that are going to present.
There is a refugee camp, suffering, while their son is somewhere in Norway shouting, take it by force. And this is the situation they want to subject our people to. And that is why Mazi Nnamdi is a very smart man. When he tell you wait, he's not idle, he's doing something. I know what he's doing. You can't get it alone. You must have a backup of one of the strongest countries in the world. Arguably, not the one that is holding you. Even China is even more preferable. China, Russia, and talk about other country. You are going to Israel. How many are they? All this while you have been dying, what have they done? Enough of this stupidity for many of you that are paying attention to this movie. It is going to come and gone. This is something that doesn't last. It is fake. Now we'll be debating. It happened. They are ready. It's just for a matter of time. Maybe 1 or 2 weeks, it will fizzle away. You now start looking for where you're gonna get those who are gonna rescue you. It is not easy. I understand. Mazi Nnamdi making it work. A lot of you are asking questions about allies. Very, very, very important. Allies is the one of Yoruba or the one of Amazonia. No, you don't make allies people that are also down looking for help them. So these are the mistakes we have done, and that is why they have stepped up their game to do things they are doing now. Though it's not easy. Really, it's not easy because before country can listen to you, they must also know that you have a territory. Those that are looking for Biafra in Nnamdi and Enugu State, have they gone to Bayelsa? Have they gone to Calabar? Have they gone to Akwa Ibom? Have you seen them somewhere in River State fully? The same way they are parading their nonsense in Enugu and Nnamdi and the other side. This is a movie, and to make sure they destabilize our land, because we are the hearts of their problem, and that's what they're doing. But I'm not worried. I'm not shaking. I smile, and my smile is coming back from deep down from my heart. I'm very, very much confident that this is just a movie. But I just to speak from time to time to so many of you who doesn't understand what it means to be free. The Hamas who started the kidnapping of Israeli citizens that made this, Israeli citizens to massacre their people in their numbers. The children of Palestinians have been, most of them have been wiped out, killed. But what is going on now? They are returning those they kidnapped. This is just like killing people. If it's in our own land, many of you will be jubilating. Just say Hamas is like autopilot, and they succeeded in kidnapping, some Israeli who are doing Muslim festival. Kidnap them, kill them, they can kill a whole lot of people hostage. And then because of that, Israel have to unleash on their citizens, kill a lot of them in their numbers. And then now they know that the heat is so high, they have started to release those they kidnapped. Have they achieved their aim? No. So what is the need of starting something that you cannot finish? You have to use your brain. Make use of your brain. It's just a small time. It will come and go. Original will still stay. I leave it here.
All right. So
the game they're playing. There was this stupid video that was.
now listen. I just saw a message now from Daniel. It said I never condemn all those men I saw, because this is what accountability group has been clamoring for. Accountability group never clamored for such kind of thing. We're not stupid. We are tactical. We are professional. We know what it takes to build a system to get your freedom. It is just very tactical. Very, very tactical. We don't clamor for with all these things they are doing. It's not what we clamor for. You're not there, and you are coming to tell us that is what accountability group clamored for. You are not in the midst of our planning. You are not in it. You claim to like what the accountability group is doing, standing for truth, but you are not part of it. And you are now coming to post online to everybody to read that we are clamoring for what Simon is doing. How can we clamor for this nonsense? Are we daft? We have experienced, intelligent people on the platform of accountability and transparency group. If we want to go for what we are going to go for, it comes with a plan. And that is why we have a fundamental plan that would not put our people in harm's way. How can you just put people on the road, give them uniform? You say it's what we are clamoring for? That is nonsense. That is nonsense. You don't put people, give them uniform, and then you give them guns, and you say that's what we're clamoring for. How can we be clamoring for nonsense? How can we be clamoring for this, and I'm coming to talk about it? If we are clamoring for this, I would have been hailing them. But because I know it doesn't make sense, you only put the people in harm's way. 2, your tactics does not quantize with strategic thinking. It does not quantize with strategic thinking. How can I go with something that does not quantize with strategic thinking? Anything you do that is not coming with the narrative of truth would always be like this, because you would always want to do, put up some narrative out there for your selfish purpose. And the reason why these things are doing, the intent, the reason is not pure. That is why they are in a hurry to showcase everything quickly before Mazi Nnamdi out, and so it will be that they are the ones doing everything. That is why they are in a hurry, because they want to steal as much as they can steal. Even if Mazi Nnamdi comes tomorrow and takes over, and the people no more support them in their criminality, they have made money. That is what they are doing. So we don't. Accountability and transparency group does not subscribe to this nonsense. We never clamored for this. Don't misrepresent us. Don't put out a statement out there to the public to give an impression as if they made a decision with us that is and know what is happening critically inside. We are having some critical talks and discussions. We are setting up some plans and programs. It's not easy, but we'll keep doing what we have to do until Mazi Nnamdi is out. We are setting up a strategic system that will take us step by step to freedom, not in this kind of stupidity. There are ways to get things. In a sophisticated world, as the world we are in now, you don't need all this madness. It is only criminal. It is for criminals, those who want to build an empire and then make money from the people. And when the people become free, they now hijack the government and begin to, that's what they do. That is how they go. This is the tactics of those who are criminals. It is the tactics of those who are not pure. If you observe Mazi Nnamdi ways, you would know that he is pure. That is why he takes it from step to step. Even if he was struggling because of their criminality, he was still going from step to step, every step. He knew when the army will come. He knows when the security network will come. He knows that the army will be the last straw. He knows you don't just raise an army and put it there and say, just bring few men and put them, and then you say you have an army, then you say we're going to launch an army later. It doesn't make sense. You are not launching a group, a security group. You are launching an army. You don't launch armies like that. It doesn't happen anywhere in the world. Anywhere in the world, you don't launch armies like this. You are saying, go and read history. Some of you need to read history. Do you see where they set armies like this? Just bring some few men and say, this is our BIAFRA, this is our army, and the main army will be launched later. And you know your enemies are looking at you. You know the powers that be are looking at you. Where does it happen? An army is supposed to be the ones to carry out the liberation improper. So you don't just launch them anyhow and showcase them out there anyhow. You build it very well. You set it up very well. You give it strategic strength very well. And then you launch it. Ife is not accountability and transparency group. So whatever Ife tells you, she's talking from her own brain. She doesn't understand what it means. She's not part of that accountability and transparency group. So don't be mentioning Ife, because Ife said, did you confirm from us formally anything that accountability and transparency group decides? We don't come out to tell you. We don't come because it doesn't make sense coming out to tell you. We need to keep planning and getting you involved. We don't come out to, have you seen us come formally? If we want to say anything publicly, we are going to come out formally and announce it. One person cannot go on their platform and begin to say anything. And then you say this person said so. So as long as that person said so, it is the opinion, it's the decision of the accountability and transparency group. If he is a woman, she's talking from her own point of view. She said no men on ground. She's talking from her own point of view, from her own level of reasoning. We have not come formally to tell you that this is the strategy. Have we come ever? Have you ever seen me on this platform come to tell you that this is the strategy we want to utilize for our freedom? We don't do it. Doesn't even make sense. You don't come publicly to tell people. Look at what they are doing everywhere. Is that they come and tell you we are planning this, we are planning that, we are doing this? It doesn't make sense. Accountability and transparency group have never ever come. We only come to say that we have a plan and come and join. If you want to join, come, let's plan together and get ourselves free. And our strategy will not be these kinds of shenanigans. No, we can't go that level. So if his statement is his statement, if young because can have the right to her own opinion, her opinion is not the opinion of the accountability and transparency group. She's not even in the accountability and transparency group anymore. So you cannot say that whatever she says is what we are doing. No, you can't say that. So listen.
That is in circulation. You know that they can't attack ESN.
Now, did you see the formation here? Look very well. Look at the video they are projecting there. This one stands beside a man. They see an old man. Look at the man they are parading. The man doesn't even have strength to fight back in the first place. They just see a vulnerable man. They parade him. Look at this one, Sam. Now look at the down video that is covering Mazi Nnamdi Kanu's face partially. You see the way they position themselves, the way Al-Qaeda and Boko Haram always stand on their stuff to display. It tells you that this is a militia group. It's not an army. No army of a nation comes with these kinds of narrative and set themselves this way. No army of a nation does that. No army of a nation begins this way. It is only militia groups that begin this way. They begin to produce few people and begin to project them. They will come and start making noise, trying to put fear in people, trying to make people feel that they have arrived, and trying to showcase themselves so that they can get more money from their sponsors and get more sponsors. And trying to no army begins this way. An army is established in secret, especially when it comes to freedom fighting and all that. They are established, well prepared. When they are showcased, the same strategy Mazi Nnamdi Kanu used for ESN. And of course, when it comes to the Biafran army, it will be better than that. Even ESN as a security agent, a security outfit, was not showcased this way they are showcasing this army. If ESN, on that level of just security, is not showcased this way, how much more in the Biafra army? How can you showcase an army in a very common way, in a very childish way, when even a security outfit as ESN was not showcased that way? Then how can you showcase an army? Is it that you guys don't analyze this well? Please, an army. Let me spread this video so that you can see it properly. Let me get my video down so you can.
They can't. They have no moral ground. But I'm sure they gave money to some idiots and gave them guns to say they are Biafran army. I don't know if they're up to 6 or 7 of them. Which is a lie. It's the DSS creation. So they can have justification to say to Biden or the US ambassador, can you see they now have Biafran army? We can now move in to attack them. Anybody, if you know the game they're playing, there was this stupid video that is in circulation. You know that they can't attack ESN. They can't. They have no moral ground. But I'm sure they gave money to some idiots and gave them guns to say they are Biafran army. I don't know if they're up to 6 or 7 of them, which is a lie. It's the DSS creation. So they can have justification to say.
Daniel, I don't know what you are trying to get at. I will stop commenting on your post and all of that. But for now, I'll just say this. ESN was launched in the bush, quite all right. And what did Mazi Nnamdi Kanu tell you is the role of ESN? To drive the enemies from the bush, to drive the Fulani Janjaweeds from the bush. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu said their job is in the bush, for them to continue their work in the bush. He now stressed it and said, ESN is not the army. When we launch the army, their tactics will be different. That means their job will not be in the bush. Their job will be strategic, even if the bush is involved, which means they're going to carry out major operations outside the bush and return to their confinement, wherever their camp is. But for ESN, their job is strictly to take care of the Fulanis in the bush. I don't understand what your argument is here. Mazi, don't forget MNK unveiled ESN bush. Where do you want him to unveil it? At Imo State House? We are talking about the tactics here. We are not talking about we are not talking about the function here. Now, the tactics here for ESN is that they are going to actually be revealed in hiding. They cannot expose them because they are not an army, and that security outfit has been fought against by the people who are around, by the politicians and all of that. They are fighting against the security outfit being set. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu told the governors, let's set up a security outfit, they refused. He now set it up in hiding, and he had to launch it. And when he launched it, he didn't launch it this way as Al-Qaeda and Simon are doing, just as you see his own faction here, Simon's faction of terrorist groups here. He didn't set them up like this. He didn't put them in the bush. These ones are still in the bush. We are not saying they should come to the public or to Imo State House to launch it. But we are saying here that an army is not launched this way. Even if you're going to launch an army from the bush, from that bush, that locality, they have already taken the territories. That's what happens. An army does not get launched and then they begin to hide in the bush, and then they will now say they have isolated one of their Hilux van. They saw their Hilux van somewhere. Nobody was with the Hilux van, and then they took the Hilux van, and they are going to get the Hilux van back. They will go and buy another van now and paint it and tell you that's the Hilux van. All the vans they have been using, some of them are stolen. Stolen vans. Stolen vehicles. So what is your argument? I don't understand. Sometimes when you comment, I suspect you to be somebody who is trying to jeopardize what you are doing. Jeopardize what we are doing. Because your arguments are just, that's why I don't want to talk about them. I don't want to mention, because I have given you a reason why I have to play that guy. You say don't play Metula stuff. Who told you I can play? I can play anybody. I can play Chinansa's voice. I can play Simon. I can play anybody's stuff here. As long as it is the message I'm extracting. Playing it does not mean that. That's why Ego is asking you, what's your mentality? What's the level of your mentality? How do you tell me that you are jeopardizing what we're doing by playing a particular video of somebody that you don't believe in? And then you say, so CNN plays the voice of Hamas people, or BBC plays their voice and interviews an Hamas person and tell them, why are you holding this and all? You say they are now supporting Hamas. Is that how you reason? Or you don't know what we're doing is journalism. What we're doing is journalism. So as journalists, you can use any material to express what you want to express. And you must state it there that you're not in support of that stuff if you're not in support of it. So that's the last I'm going to talk about here, because your arguments are very childish. And I don't want to be getting distracted by them. Anyways, as Ego have said, I should ignore. I'm going to ignore. So now please listen to this audio, video, every one of you. That's the position an army of a nation as Biafra. They just put one vehicle or two or three or four, so just line them up, and they stand in front of the vehicle as Al-Qaeda and ISIS and all these militia groups always do. The same strategy of all of these groups, including the groups in the Sahel and all of that. That is how they give their broadcast. Their man will be at the center, bragging, and then their men will be standing by his side with guns and all of that. This is the attitude of terrorist groups. No wonder they are making the Nigeria agents to terrorize the Biafra people. Our people, killing our men, killing our young women, raping them, killing them, killing our old people. because everything they do gets forced back on the people. They go to a particular place, they kill military people at that checkpoint. They just ambush them, kill them, and then the military will come back. The Nigerian agents will come back and use that opportunity to kill times 100 of our people in that community, reducing the number gradually. Are they not agents? They are agents of Nigeria. As simple as that. Now listen.
Say to Biden or the US ambassador, can you see now how I know the game they're playing? There was this stupid video that is in circulation. You know that they can't attack ESN. They can't. They have no moral grounds. But I'm sure they gave money to some idiots and gave them guns to say they are Biafran army. I don't know if they're up to 6 or 7 of them, which is a lie. It's the DSS creation. So they can have justification to say to Biden or the US ambassador, can you see they now have Biafran army? We can now move in to attack them. Anybody, if you are involved in that video, take a walk. You want to give Fulani with the reason to invade our land. That's what you're doing. But we shall get to that later. Anybody involved in the circulation of that video is a goner. I'm telling you the truth. And those that made it. That is how people behave because they don't understand the game plan of the Fulani. People are very foolish. Fulani will come to you and want to use you and you succumb because you have greed, envy, and jealousy inside you. Which one again is Biafran army? I'm asking you. From where? How many people? The day I will bring out the Biafran army, we number over 200,000. Standing, reserve is over 1 million. Some bunch of idiots somewhere because you are serving your Fulani Janja with masters. We will get hold of all of you. Check out Uno Oko. We know they're bad eggs when we see them. We warned people against voting for Buhari in 2015 when he was still alive. The same Buhari died in 2017. People, all of you know that Buhari is dead. Today he's young, tomorrow he's old. You see his hand is fresh today, tomorrow. Nobody knows who is who anymore. All of you are there, but because it's the turn of your village. Your brother is a senator. Your sister is a House of Reps member. You don't want to lose that money that is coming in every day. You come out on social media and you're talking rubbish all the time because you're a black person. You don't understand. There is something called economies of scale. Some of you cannot reason very well. You claim you went to school. Sometimes I wonder the type of lecturers you had in your useless schools that you went to. I wonder, honestly speaking. Because you and your family, you are benefiting. Somehow you think that life is okay for you. Because of the level, or should I say the poverty of ideas inside you. Any day your relative goes into the farm, the Fulanis will kill them. All you can do is to lament. Say things are bad though, and you go and you sleep, and nothing gets done about it. It was. I am very, very grateful to Almighty Elohim that the courage today that you have in Yoruba land because of ESN, the courage of Anwateku to say no to Fulani is because of ESN. Because of Eastern Security Network, that is why they found the courage to say no to Fulani. If not, they would have done it. After all these years, without the coming, should I say all these months, without the coming of ESN, as Anwateku said, we are going to flush out Fulani headsmen from our bushes. Never. It's because they saw us, they have seen us doing it. They said, oh, we might as well do the same thing as well. In order to it's called the pincer movement, to cut us off. They got some people, I don't know whether they may be in all or whatever got them together, gave them, say, we are Biafran army, a few
Always
idiots.
that's around that all area. That's where
They shouldn't go, we are Biafran army, inside somewhere.
And they'll be shooting. You see now, Mazi Nnamdi said it. Shooting in, they will stay in the bush and be carrying some kind of actions out that doesn't make sense. Then they'll make a video, because when you make a video, people are just concentrating on that video, not reasoning along the line of that terrain. You know, people are just looking at the picture, and that picture looks like a real activity that is happening everywhere. So, listen.
Did we tell you that we have formed the Biafran army?
Did you hear that? Because the commander-in-chief must be around. An army is not a security outfit. An army is an army, and it is the sole responsibility of the commander-in-chief to be present and to carry out that action of setting up the army.
We said when we form it, the world will know that we have come. I don't hide anything. If you claim you are behind any useless group calling themselves Biafran army, show your face because I'm showing my face on video. I claim ownership of not ownership, of course. I can claim responsibility for ESN. Can you claim?
How can you show your face against the face of the commander-in-chief? How? The commander-in-chief is still alive. The commander-in-chief is still there. And you have the guts to come all out to say you are in charge of Biafra army when the commander-in-chief is there. You are commanding an army. That means you have plotted a coup against him. You are committing treasonable felony. Massively. You have overthrown him in your mind. But nobody can overthrow Mazi Nnamdi, of course. We all know that. And he will come out soon. Very shortly. When it comes out, we will see this madness of Liberation Army. We'll know where it will end. You know, we'll know where it will end. Mazi Nnamdi is not daft. This is not how to set up a military. This is not the way. But because of desperation to hijack, so that you can continue to suck funds, take funds from the people. Mazi Nnamdi will be released, definitely. He will be released and he will come out and he would sanitize the house, because this nonsense will stop. Because I have to go this dimension first. I've not even been able to say some of the things I have to say, but I'm going to have part 2 of this particular broadcast maybe tomorrow or next. Samanja, I mean, you know, some of you don't know Samanja. You know, I don't know whether Amaka will know Samanja. Amaka, do you know Samanja? Now listen.
Claim something for Biafran army. If you claim you're a human being, that is all the handiwork of DSS. Mad people have every idiots everywhere. Africans are lack of discipline. You don't have discipline. You don't have discipline. That was why the white man came and conquered you, because you lack discipline. After
no discipline. Nami go do am. Nami go do am. Nami go. I want to make history. I want to be the one that the world will celebrate. No discipline. So if I want to make history now, I'll go beyond my boundaries. Making history does not mean you go beyond your boundaries. Every action being carried out now is going beyond their boundaries. Usurping the responsibility and the duties of the powers of Mazi Nnamdi. I don't need to go beyond my boundaries. Play your role, because your role is evident in history. Don't be a saboteur or a betrayer or commit treasonable felony because you want to make history. The army is not your jurisdiction. The army is not your jurisdiction. As someone who is called to work, what you should have done is continue with the ESN. Make sure it stays formidable and strong for Mazi Nnamdi, not divide it, scatter it, destabilize it, and then form your own group and call it army. No, that is treason. To make history is to preserve what your leader has done, not to scatter it. That's wickedness. That's evil. That means you are an accomplice in a situation. You have been looking for an opportunity, you saw it, and you capitalized on it. When they brought the deal for his sale and all of that, you might be a part of those who approved of it. You might even collect some money because from your actions, we don't trust you anymore. Because your actions are devious, diabolic, terrible, horrible, and so much so suspicious. So much so suspicious. The commander-in-chief still alive, and you can't work with the team that he has set up already to join forces with Biafrans to make sure that that team is funded and supported until that team achieves its aim, and do some things that will make him to be out, the commander-in-chief to be out. Just like what Metisela was saying. If they have come together and make sure that ESN is sustained, and then ESN goes to carry out actions against the economy of the zoo, by now you know what would have happened. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu would have been released. I was giving you people this narrative last week or so, 2 weeks ago, that during the first time Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was kidnapped, was arrested, 2015, even at the point of arrest, the militias, the Avengers also carried out actions on the oil installation and all of that. It made them release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And Mazi Nnamdi Kanu didn't stay up to 2 years in detention. Now they kidnapped him. That is even a more crime, that we should have done some stuff that will make them release him very fast. Rather, that is when people sat back. No more economic, sabotaging the economy or politically sabotaging it. You had opportunity to sabotage them February 25th and stop the election and make sure there's no election, destroying them politically and destroying them economically. You don't do all of that. All you do is parade vehicles in the bushes and take the young men to their early graves and destabilize the communities by attracting the Nigerian military contraption into the communities to kill the people. No economic sabotage, no political sabotage. You had opportunity of economic and political sabotage, very unique opportunity, strategic at the time of election, general election, that would have worked very well. You abused it, and then you now, because you want to have enough time to steal more. Because you know you have stolen, so you can't give record of the monies contributed against the election, to stop the election, and you know that you thought that the people will on their own rise up and fight. When it didn't work now, you have to just begin to panel beat them here and there, deceive them. Deceive them. Some people don't like the truth. I woke up this morning, I saw some people have unsubscribed from my channel. Some even when I started preaching, facing the truth and standing against the injustice and the corruption and the criminality, some people went off. The YouTube subscription dropped. Later, I started coming up. Then the also on my Twitter went down very low. Now I started coming up and coming up and coming up. Yesterday's message I preached, some people went there, some few people went there and unsubscribed. You think that will stop me? You think I'm here for your nonsense? I'm here for truth, and I will continue to preserve what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu stands for. As we say, we're not here for titles. If it were for titles, I would have been one of those who by now be around Simon's and shenanigans. Because when the issue of the currency came up, I will not argue against it. I will not fight against it. When the issue of Ngozi being Nigerian agent came up, I will not talk about it. I will not bring out the evidences. I would have hidden all the evidences. I will not do anything. The issue of Ngozi, I'm the one who brought the evidences. The issue of the currency, I made it public that they are trying to put their faces on the currency. So I would have seen an opportunity to put myself in position. But that is not what I came for. I didn't come to steal. I can't use Biafran name to steal. Impossible. Even if I want to steal, I can't use, of course I won't steal. So even if I want to steal, I can't use Biafra because that is deadly. That is deadly. So if you think that I will be here telling you lies and I will come to say things that will make you happy, forget it. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu cannot be in detention, and I will be here supporting somebody who is calling himself Commander-in-Chief. When you set up an army, you're calling yourself Commander-in-Chief. When Mazi Nnamdi Kanu himself, you will hear it in this video. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu himself said that he will set up the army. Listen.
The white man must have preached with you. Fulani came from Senegambia because you have no brain. Lack of discipline. Every idiot thinks they can lead. They don't know.
Every idiot thinks they can lead. Must everybody be in forefront, giving yourself title? Why not leave the leader there? Let him be the leader. Then let's do what we have to do in our different levels and capacities. Why title? Why?
What leadership entails. Every monkey thinks, oh, maybe if we have it, nobody is funding IPOB ESN. It's only IPOB that's funding it worldwide. If you think you can bring 2 or 3 people together with a few rifles, and because of that, you can start calling for funds, you are wasting your time. You don't know our people, they won't give you a dime.
All right, I think I don't know. All right, so that is it for that. And the reason, the purpose of this is to give you a light, throw light into the issue of control. You know, the control that people want to exude over Biafrans. As Mazi and Kanu have said, everybody wants to control, everybody wants to lead, when they don't even have the capacity to lead. What features do they have to lead? What characteristics of leadership do they have? Look at Simon himself. What characteristics of leadership does he have? You think it's just to gym and to showcase your muscles and then talk tough? That's leadership? That's not leadership. Look at the contrast between Mazi and Simon. In the first place, Mazi is the leader. Anything that has to do with strategic decisions, like military, economy, currency, territory, demarcation, naming of territories, and all of that, it is Mazi who would appoint or set up a system that will get the people to appoint. When the people appoint, he approves of it, and then those people who are appointed and representing the people will sit down and discuss it and make decisions and forward to Mazi and he now takes he now endorses or consents to what they have decided, and then he announces to Biafrans. This should be done orderly. How can you have 2 commanders? Look at treason. Everybody wants to have title. Everybody wants to command. What is Biafra army when Mazi and have said, and Mazi and is still alive? Now look at what they are doing. Militia tactics. We didn't talk about the referendum convention matter today, and we have not talked much on the issue of the 9 million sale of Mazi and I really want to talk about that issue of sale of Mazi and but before, I may not be able to conclude it very well today or say so much because of time, but there's something I want to read out here, because I don't know why Simon made this statement, commented on the issue of that Chinans and Warus broadcast. I don't know why, because what I see here is guilty conscience, and what I see here is capitalizing on the situation to make himself exonerate himself, and at the same time to make it look like he is always ahead of everybody. Now listen to what he says. Breaking. What is breaking? What he wants to say is breaking. Those criminals who sold MNK are struggling to move the last payment. Why didn't he say it all this while until when Chinasa came to make announcement? And that is when he now decided to now cook up a story and say they are trying to move their last payment. How does he know they are trying to move their last payment? Is he part of the deal? If he's part of the deal, but he's trying to play as if he is getting intel about the deal, but he's not part of the deal, the money will be paid to the treasurer's Ejiofor. He will collect the money using a third party. Look at, we have busted them. Look at, how come you waited until Chinasa started broadcast before you started busting? And that person who is busting all of this stuff for you, what is the connection between you and that person with them? How does the person know about all of these movements and all of that if that person is not part of the deal? And why is that person telling you about a particular deal, and you are showing the person, and you know that this person is part of the deal of selling Mazi and Kanu, and you are getting information from the person concerning these kinds of things, and you are busting the information according to you, but you are busting them, getting information about them from somebody who is inside of them, because for the person to discuss this whole thing that you are talking about here, if you are claiming that somebody is giving you the information, for the person to give you such kinds of information, the person is part of them. The person knows the formula sharing, the person knows things about the sharing. And so if that person is discussing all of this stuff with them, it means that that person is an accomplice. That person is part of those who sold him. And you are quiet, getting information from somebody who sold him, and all this while you didn't say anything for this number of years, you never said anything about it. You knew the person who was giving information about it, you're being part of it and all of that, and you never busted this person. You still are flowing with this person. That means you have a connection of receiving your own share. So you pretend to be out of it, but giving information as if somebody is giving you the information. Because I can't imagine me having somebody who sold Mazi and getting information from the people, claiming to get information from somebody who is part of the people who sold Mazi and I will be quiet and saying I'm getting information, selling my leader. In fact, the moment I know, oh my God, you know me now. I don't go come. I know they hide all this kind of matter. We need a fact-finding committee because so many things are hidden that needs to be exposed. And it is only a fact-finding committee that can actually bring these things out. Look at it. He will collect the money using a third party. We have busted them. The criminal in Kuwait is posting and positioning the mind of their foolish followers after Ejiofor told him to announce 9 million naira. That means $9 million. That means he knows how much. That means he himself, Simon, knows how much that was collected. But maybe Chinasa didn't mention the full amount, or maybe I don't know how much he mentioned, or maybe whether more or less. But he's indirectly trying to tell the people that this money is more than that, or less than that, or something. He now says they please add the $9 million to, I don't understand his grammar. They please add the $9 million to over $20 billion loss to sit at home. And tell me if the kidnap is not expensive. This statement makes no sense. It's not clear. So I don't know how to define this kind of statement. After the Finland Convention, Okudioba, how? You conducted a party, you ate and drank, and then from today, I told you people that from that day, all you will be seeing every day is showcasing one picture or the other of that convention, so that your mind will keep remaining on that convention and whiling away time till they get another strategy to position something again in front of you that will distract you. But for now, they will keep distracting you with the narrative of that convention. Posting pictures. How is that freedom? Now you see, posting pictures, and then they tell the other guys, gathering people on Biafra land, telling you that they are armies, and posting their pictures. That is all they are doing. Distractions. Deception. Okudioba. How? Okudioba, because you organized the party? Or you've not been seeing the parties and the programs IPOB have been doing all the years? Did it ever define that Biafra has come? Or whatever? For the first time, you gathered in a place in Finland and you organized yourself to conduct a party where you people did your prophetic service. You know what I mean by prophetic service? Where they came to tell you that the chains of the holding Biafra is broken. And the chains, the padlock has been broken. That's prophetic service they did. And then they marry and did, shot their flowers and took their drinks and lodge where they are lodging and, hang themselves one after the other. Have a good time, fun with one another in their hotels. And then you're coming to tell me that Okudioba because you organized the party. So if I come now and organize a party and call it referendum dissemination, or whatever name I give it, or mega referendum prototype, and then maybe that day, I maybe the difference I'll make is that I'll print some tickets and some stuff and come and show you people that this is the way the document, the referendum slip will be. And then I do something different and showcase it in another way. Maybe I'm giving them another idea now. They will go and take this idea now to create something. You now showcase and say this is how the referendum will be, This is how the paper will be. This is how you go with the ballot. This is how it's going to be conducted. And I do it now. And then I'll tell everybody, Okudi over. Because I have won, I have succeeded. Does it make sense? And the Jofo wants his balance to be paid to someone else, Makechi. He wants his balance to be paid to someone else, Makechi, so that maybe tomorrow they will not say he got money and all of that. How do you know all of these? That's the big question. And we're going to be discussing further into this particular question tomorrow or Thursday. We're going to discuss, hopefully, if I'm able to come up tomorrow, we're going to discuss this. If not, on Thursday, we're going to do this. Because all of this stuff, from this stuff now, he doesn't know that he has made himself an accomplice. He doesn't know that he has made himself an accomplice. I should stop hinting them. Of course, I'll stop hinting them. I'm giving them another idea for another convention stuff they want to do. Biafra is already here. Yes, not by them. Biafra is here because Mazi and Kanu will be out soon. I want to thank you guys for being here, my comrades on the comment section. I want to thank you guys. Please share this video, like it, and share it on all your social media platforms. Thank you so much, Ego. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Amaka. Thank you, everyone who has spoken and maintained the truth. Everyone whose mindset is focused on truth and transparency, accountability, not people who are playing double standards. I want to thank you all. Please share on all your social media platforms. Share on all your social media platforms for your people to watch and for your people to... Thank you so much, Amaka. Thank you. Lord have mercy. I just saw one message now. I'm just laughing. Can you imagine? That tells you that this guy, Daniel, is not genuine. He's now sending a message of mockery. Why don't you conduct a referendum, a convention? You can do it better. You are trying to mock. That tells you that there's something about you that is not pure. Because you can't be making this kind of statement to me on a broadcast telling us about convention. So because Simon did convention, we should go and do convention. And you think Biafra project is about convention? Thank you, Amaka. I'll tweet up. You see how our people behave. There are always double standards. They are here and there. They'll be playing as double standards. And this kind of attitude will not help you. This kind of attitude will not help you. Look at, imagine coming to tell me why not we organize a convention and do it better. Can you imagine? Mockery. You are trying to mock us because we are standing on the truth and telling you the truth. But you can mock us anyways, but you will only expose yourselves by your statements. And I want to tell you guys, if you're not genuine, you will always expose yourself. Because you will make out of the heart, abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. You will always make a comment, that will show what your heart is and where you stand. That's the truth. So pretend all the way you can. You will always expose yourself, and that's the truth. Thank God that you have made this particular comment. It shows where you belong. Thank you so much, all. I appreciate you guys. And stay strong. And thank you, eFrogs, for showcasing your frustration on the comment section too, and those ones who are just watching, and those ones who are watching on behalf of Simon, Azuka, and other people. Take the message back to them. Or if Simon's account is here cloned, you are welcome. Listen to it again and again and understand that you'll be exposed at all times. Thank you so much, all. I appreciate you guys. God bless you. Real good.